Canada is in shock after Alberta and Saskatchewan dropped a bombshell announcement about becoming the 51st and 52nd U.S. states. Welcome to Maple Nation Report. Today we're unpacking one of the most explosive political developments in years. Alberta and Saskatchewan have made it clear they're seriously considering joining the United States. This isn't just background political chatter. This is a move that could completely reshape the future of Canada. The reaction: Canadians are angry, divided, and in some cases, downright scared. So, let's break this down. How we got here, why Alberta and Saskatchewan feel pushed to the edge, how Canada is responding, and what this could mean for everyday people. Stick with me until the end. You'll want the full picture of this historic moment. Let's start with the announcement itself. Leaders and influential voices in Alberta and Saskatchewan have gone beyond talk of autonomy or independence. What they're proposing is full statehood in the United States, as the 51st and 52nd states. At first, it sounds far-fetched. But when you look at the frustrations these provinces have carried for decades, the idea starts to make sense to some people. Alberta and Saskatchewan are Canada's energy and agricultural backbone: oil, natural gas, wheat, beef, you name it. Yet, many people there believe Ottawa treats them like second-class citizens. Federal climate policies have crippled their energy sector. Billions flow out of their provinces each year through equalization payments, mostly benefiting Quebec. And when people in the West look east, they see governments making decisions that overlook their struggles and silence their voices. This isn't the first time we've seen separatist movements, remember Wexit. But what makes this moment different is the scale, the seriousness, and the push toward the U.S., not independence. This isn't about standing alone anymore. It's about looking south and saying, maybe we'd be better off as Americans. Picture it: Alberta and Saskatchewan, with a combined population of nearly 7 million, joining the United States overnight. That would give America massive energy reserves, millions of conservative-leaning voters who could reshape U.S. politics, and a stronger position in the Arctic and global resource markets. But for Canada, losing these two provinces would be catastrophic. Ottawa would lose huge amounts of revenue, energy exports, and international clout. The rest of the country could face budget shortfalls, rising energy costs, and weaker global influence. Imagine Canada without Alberta's oil sands or Saskatchewan's wheat. It's a completely different nation. The backlash has been intense. In Ontario and Quebec, politicians are blasting the idea as reckless and unpatriotic, pointing out that Canada has stood together for over 150 years through wars, recessions, and political crises. To them, this move feels like betrayal. In Atlantic Canada, the reaction is fear that if the West can walk away, others might follow. In British Columbia, it's mixed. Rural areas are sympathetic, but urban voters see it as reckless political theater. In Canada's north, the concern is even greater. Federal support is critical there, and a breakup could mean fewer resources and less protection. The fear of being left behind is real. Meanwhile, Ottawa is scrambling to calm the storm. Officials are stressing that Alberta and Saskatchewan are vital members of the Canadian family. Publicly, they're calling this political posturing. Privately, they know once separation talk becomes mainstream, it's nearly impossible to stop. Canada has been here before. Quebec came close to leaving in 1995, when a sovereignty referendum was decided by less than 1 percentage point. It shook the nation to its core. But here's what's different: Alberta and Saskatchewan aren't talking independence. They're talking about joining another country, and that changes everything. So why now, in 2025? A big part is economics. Global energy markets are unstable. Canada's climate policies are squeezing oil and gas harder than ever. Families are struggling with inflation. And many in the West feel like they're carrying the country while getting little back. There's also politics. Alberta and Saskatchewan feel Ottawa is dominated by Eastern Canada, especially liberal governments that don't reflect Western values. To them, the United States, particularly under conservative leadership, seems like a better cultural and political fit. Whether or not that's true doesn't matter as much as the perception. And right now, the perception is Ottawa doesn't care about the West. But let's be real, joining the U.S. wouldn't be simple. International law, constitutional rules, and the logistics of separation make it nearly impossible in the short term. Borders would need to be redrawn. Passports, citizenship, healthcare, policing, and currency would all be up in the air. Still, the fact that people are even imagining it says a lot. Canada's unity is weakening. Once people believe there's a real alternative, frustration turns into a political movement. For everyday Canadians, this means uncertainty about jobs, taxes, and national identity. If you're in Alberta or Saskatchewan, you're hearing that your future might lie with the US. If you're elsewhere, you're hearing that your country could lose two of its most important provinces. For businesses, it means instability. Investments could slow. Trade deals could unravel. Markets could lose confidence in Canada's future. For families, it means more arguments at the dinner table, debates with neighbors, and unease about what comes next. So, where do we go from here? Some experts think Alberta and Saskatchewan are using the US statehood threat as leverage, forcing Ottawa to negotiate and take their grievances seriously. That could lead to new deals, reforms, or compromises. But others believe we're watching the birth of a movement that could tear Canada apart. Just as Quebec's sovereignty dominated Canadian politics for decades, this could define our future for years to come. Will it fizzle out? Will it explode into an independence vote? Will the US actually consider it? Nobody knows. What we do know is this: Canada is at a crossroads, and whichever path we take, the country will never be the same. So, what do you think? Are Alberta and Saskatchewan serious about joining the US, or is this just a bargaining chip? Can Canada hold together, or are we heading for a breakup? Share your thoughts in the comments below. This debate is only getting started. If you found this breakdown helpful, please give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss future updates on Canadian politics and global events. Until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, and remember, our future is in our hands.